Welcome to Real Talks with Pinks. You are joining us from the co-working space situated at Sea Point, Maseru, Lesotho. So we have a very interesting guest on the show, a good friend of mine. And Ntate Kanono, can you please introduce yourself to our guests?
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. My name is Kanono Tabai. Thank you.
Oh, don't you want to mention that you are a businessman and husband and such things?
No, definitely, I am all of those. I am.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about relationships. Ntate Kanono did a very interesting thread on Twitter. He was talking about things to consider before getting married. And then I approached him to ask if he would be interested to talk about his personal experiences with marriage. So, disclaimer, he's not a marriage counselor, but he will be sharing his experiences based on himself and his family, plus also his friends. So, let's get right onto the show. Ntate Kanono, how long have you been married? Say a bit how you met your wife and if you have any kids.
I've been married for, I think it's about 7 years now.
Sure.
And I have two young men. I have 2 kids. One is about 6 and the other one is about 4. Yes, and I met my wife when I was studying at the National University of Lesotho. Yes, and I knew that she was the person who I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Oh, that's nice. That's an accomplishment for people our age to be married for 7 years. Yes. Honestly, that's huge because
and when I got married, I was 26 and she was 25.
Yo,
I think something like that.
You were young. Wow. Okay.
Got married very young.
That's very, very young. So, Ntate Kanono, can you please tell us what are your top 3 personal values that you live by?
I think for me, faithfulness will be a very key value for a marriage to work. I think that the marriage is a covenant of 2 people, and you can have your mjolo, but the moment you say marriage, you're just saying it's just going to be the 2 of us for the rest of our lives until death do us apart.
Yes.
So if one partner becomes unfaithful, then it doesn't exist. The marriage doesn't exist anymore. So I think that faithfulness is very key. The second aspect of marriage, which I think that it's key, is transparency.
Okay.
I think it's a value that I cherish a lot in the marriage, and I live a transparent marriage. I don't have passwords for my phones.
Oh wow, this is good coming from a man. No passwords.
Yes, I don't have passwords for my phones. Yes, and I think that transparency is very key, such that we get to know everything. And I think the last one, I'd say teamwork. I think teamwork is also important, especially when you're now talking about things like work, when you're talking about doing parenting.
Okay.
When you're talking about things like progression, I think those things need a lot of teamwork. Don't just leave your spouse to be the one dealing with the children, of the parenting, while the gentleman goes out and has some bevs and leaves the lady. So I think those 3 are very important to me.
That is good. I like when you mention the issue of parenting. It means you value the issue of co-parenting, not just that because your wife, we've grown up being told that we belong in the kitchen. So usually we are used to wives doing everything for the kids, and then but they would just be coming home, bringing the bread. So how's that important to you, the issue of doing chores together and such things, raising kids and being hands-on?
I think it's very important because you would find that the values which you are going to cherish in your marriage will be based on what you grew up knowing.
Okay.
Yes. So these ones are very important to me because even the environment which I grew up was much more of a similar environment.
Okay.
So I was able to translate it even into my marriage as well.
That's amazing.
But I think that co-parenting is very important because in as much as children grow up, they also need both figures. You find out that I'm very good at teaching children mathematics, while my wife is very good at teaching them other things as well. So you'd find that even this homeschooling thing, we have to be a team. That's what I'm saying. Teamwork is very important.
That's good. So tell us, do you have any viewpoints about marriage that you used to hold before getting married that you feel like now that you are in this for like 7 years, do you feel like you have any viewpoints that have changed?
I think that, yes, a lot has changed. Before, like I said, I got married in my 20s. So back then, my position towards it was different. You'd find I used to hold certain things, certain beliefs about marriage and what it is. But most of them have changed from what I used to believe marriage is.
Okay.
So I think that it goes with growth as well. And also it goes with learning about your partner as well in terms of communication. I think communication is very important as well. And also learning that sometimes, you don't fight every fight. There are some fights which you just let go, like this one I'll let go for now. It's not really that important. You see what I mean? Yes, no. Some things you just let go, like this one now, should just let go.
It's not for you.
It's not for me.
Okay,
yes.
That's true. Yeah. So from the tweet for our viewers, I'm going to quote you. In one of the tweets you said, "Your spouse comes first before your parents. You choose her side without even listening to the merits of the fight. Also, don't entertain your friends at the expense of your spouse." Why is this important for you? That sometimes, you don't get along with their in-laws, and sometimes, like you are saying, most people may entertain their friends more than their spouses. Say more on this.
No, I think basically it is pretty much simple. The moment you get married, even I got married to be a Christian marriage.
Okay.
So even the Bible is very clear that a man will marry and leave the parents.
Yes.
The moment you get married, you get to start a new family. Yes. And that family should be your priority. Yes. So your spouse is your number one priority in the world,
Oh, wow.
It means that your spouse comes before your parents, before your family, before your friends, before your work, before everything. You get what I mean? To do that. And as a man, you should be able to, not even as a man, as a person, you should be able to put your spouse first. Many a times, you need to communicate to your parents and your family that I'll always put my spouse first.
Yes.
On anything that matters. I'll always put my spouse first. That in itself, in a way, it makes them even understand how they approach you.
Okay.
So they wouldn't approach you in a way it's going to be able to compromise your spouse. And also parents also need, that's why I said marriage counseling is very important.
Yes.
Premarital counseling, parents also go for that.
Okay.
Yes. When you do premarital counseling, it's for the couple and it's parents from both sides.
Okay.
And when the parents go, they're going to be taught about meddling into the marriage. They shouldn't meddle into the affairs of the marriage.
Okay.
What happens when one child comes and says, I'm not happy with so and so because we have done so. Yes. You need to be able to get the both sides of the story. So I think that a lot of times in a lot of marriages that I've seen from my friends and everyone is that parents tend to interfere too much into the children's marriage, and they tend to want, especially the mother and the boy. There's usually that special relationship whereby you find that the wife has to compete with the mother for the attention of the gentleman. And that in itself, if the gentleman doesn't put the mother into second position, it creates a whole lot of environment which is not going to be very futile for the wife.
Yes.
So that in itself, mama's baby. How can you mama's baby? Breadwinner.
Yes. And also from the tweet, you said, fix your finances before getting married. Breadwinners are usually difficult people to marry. Can you delve more into this?
Because the breadwinner, as communal families that we live in, you have your siblings and you have your other relatives living with you. And then you have your parents as well. You find out that you are a breadwinner, you are the first to go to varsity, you are the first of everything.
Yes, to buy a big car.
To buy a big car, you are the first of everything.
Supporting the family.
Yes. And you still have your situation at home, you know it, how it is. And the moment you get married, and now you have a new family that you need to take care of, and you still have that family, it creates a very, very tough situation. And relationships can go very wrong.
Yes.
Especially if you find that even your siblings, they do not go. What makes it complicated? The relation, complicated. The wife and the siblings, the wife and the parents, the wife and the rest of the family.
So fix that before.
You need to fix that before. And also bruise domestic violence. Do you get what I mean? Or gender-based violence. Because how go clap and I support your family. I
hear you. So there's no...
It opens up that space. So it's very important for anyone before they get into marriage to make sure that you fix your finances at home. Even if you need to buy chickens and have a chicken farm there, which will be able to reconcile them, but make sure that you fix them.
So when we come to a closure, lastly, can you say what is the hardest decision you've had to make for your marriage? Kore, as the last point, do you think there's the hardest decision you've ever had to make for your marriage?
I think for me, the hardest decisions I've ever had to make was prioritizing my spouse over a lot of things, and specifically because one of them was my career.
Okay.
Yes. I used to work in the NGO sector. It was very tough. It was overtimes. It was so many things. So I got to a point whereby I decided that, you know what, I cannot live this life whereby I'm replying to emails at 10 p.m.
Okay.
When I'm at home, I need to be at home, not be at home with a laptop on my lap and doing concept notes and responding to emails and doing all those kind of things. I think that for me, that's when I decided, you know what, I think I need to have to avail myself to my family because I didn't even have time for children. All the time, it was always about work, and you'd find that weekends would go drinking, and then Sunday work. From Sunday to Friday, work. I think that is when I decided that I think it was the toughest decision that I had to do, but it was also to my benefit when I said, you know what, I think that I need to have a work environment which is, even if it doesn't pay a lot, but as long as I'm happy and I've got peace of mind and I don't come home stressful about what's happening at work. I think that was the toughest decision that I've ever had to make. But today I think it's working very fine for me.
Oh, okay. You're able to balance it.
I'm able to balance it. In fact, right now, my wife is the one who's working.
Oh, nice.
I don't work.
See? This is what I mean. These are the type of men we need.
That's why Tina comes
this
in.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I think I invited him because I wanted us to see that there's still healthy marriages from young people. So thank you so much, Ntate Kanono, for coming to the show. It's beautiful to watch a young person prioritize their family. You give us so much hope. Thank you for coming to the show.
Likewise.
Okay. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and comment on the video. And today I am dressed by Chic. You can find it opposite Puma Garage and Lakeside. And thank you for watching. See you on the next episode.